I'm going to show you how to do a split door. This side's going black, this side's staying white. What I'm doing is I'm splitting that, like I'm getting tape right to the edge. Then I'm gonna backfill it. I'm gonna use caulking to seal it. And this is clear. Whenever we do something black, we try to use clear on it because if it does crack out, we won't have that white caulking underneath of the black that's cracked out, and it won't look as bad. But my brother don't really care to use caulking at all when we do something black. Like he'll paint it the way it is. For me personally, I think some things need it. Because it looks better. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever used clear caulking before. But if you've ever worked with clear caulking before, a lot of people know you can't backfill it. It's not really made for backfilling. Like what I'm doing, I'm basically using this. I'm just using this caulking to seal the tape, so the tape won't bleed. That's all I'm really doing is I'm putting just enough caulking on to seal the tape, and so when I pull the tape, it'll cut itself. But the reason why I'm saying it's not really a good thing to backfill with is because when you pull it, it stretches really far. Like, if you run a bead of caulking, let it dry, you can pick it up and stretch it before it snaps. Where weight caulking, if you run a bead, you can pull it up and it'll stretch a little bit and then it'll snap. But as long as you clean that edge up really good, or it's just got a light film on it, it should cut through it. All I'm doing is sealing that tape up so the paint don't bleed underneath of it. That's all we're doing is taping or sealing that tape up so the paint won't run underneath of it. So you ever seen something like when you pour your tape up and you got paint that's bled underneath of it? That's what that is. Your tape's not sealed. That's why I say a lot of people don't understand when you tape something, you gotta backfill it because it'll bleed. Your paint won't. If you just tape something off and you don't backfill it, the edge of the tape will lift up and then the paint will seep underneath of it. So we do this method. And we're doing this with this because when you open it, you see this. But on the back side, I'm gonna do the hinge side because I just want to do the front of it. I don't want it to go back in it. Because when you open the door, you see the back side. This side, you do these two. The back side, you just the front of the door only. Don't do the hinge side. And you can kind of make your own straight line. Because like something like this side right here has got like a real sharp 45. The back side is more of a rounded thing for it to open and close better. But when you do the front of it, you definitely want to, you'll see the 45 that the door is cut naturally at the shop like this right here. Now you see how sharp that 45 is? You want to do the front of it. You want to run the tape right on the edge of this. On the back side, this is round. See what I mean? See how it's rounded? See how it's rounded like that? So I'm just making my own straight. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna step back and look at that. Okay, normally what I do is put a piece of tape paper right here, then I fold the tape to keep the paint off of this inside. But I'm probably not gonna do that. I wish I was talking to this guy's sister, and she's got me going down to do it. After I leave here, I gotta go do a cabinet job for her. So I might get the chance to show you guys how to do some cabinets. Like from start to finish cabinets. And like I said, it just depends on what the budget is what I can show. Like how much into detail I can go, because I can show you, like I can give you a car finish, or I can give you a paint job. And it's like the scale of 1 to a 10. Like looking like a car finish, that's a level 10. paint job is a level 1, and they come at 2 different price tags. But hopefully I can hopefully I can spend my time on it and give her a decent job, because you always want to take pride in your cabinets. At least painters do. Painters always take pride in their cabinets. It's like painting a door. A lot of people don't understand this, but like trimming doors are supposed to be smooth, and people take pride in stuff like that. But in order to get that smooth look, it takes time. My old boss used to put 3 coats of primer, and then he put 2 more coats of primer on top of that. So he'd do 5 coats of primer and like 6 or 7 coats of finish. And we would be patching in between that, sanding the crap out of it. I mean, it would take a month to do this room right here the right way. But that's like I said, that's the difference between a $60,000 paint job and a $5,000 paint job. But yeah, it just shows you that, like, yeah, you can do it, but it costs money to do stuff like that. And I get it, a lot of people don't understand, or a lot of people think that they call me like they say I'm like real particular, and I'm wrong. Like, I like to do nice jobs and stuff like that. Well, I do to a point, and it, like, for me, doing it for the past 20 years, it kind of like hard set in me to really go in and work all day on certain things. Like, I would sand for days, and I did it for years, and then I got to take all that prep out that I used to do and give the same quality paint job with half the effort, and it is impossible. But that's my problem, not yours. But hopefully I get to a point to where I can branch out and start giving people the high quality paint jobs that they're looking for. Because I've noticed when I painted on $1 million homes, if I acted like I didn't know what I was talking about, they didn't want me there. And I know a lot of it was because I was younger, and I've had people tell me, am I even old enough to know what I'm doing? But needless to say, I know how it is for people to call you out on stuff. Because, like, a homeowner has dealt with a lot of people coming in and painting their house, and they not really knowing what they're doing, and it kind of gives them this, kind of puts this wall up. So when you actually know what you're doing, they don't look at you the same. They want you to prove it first, and and it's one of those things that you just, that's the whole point of the relationship with the homeowner. But yeah, like, quality comes at a price, because like I said, I'd be on this job for a solid month to give it a real good paint job. And I'm not talking like we guarantee our paint jobs for 10 to 15 years. There's nobody else out there that can do that. Well, at least my old boss did. That's what his guarantee was. Because nobody wants you to come in and work on their house and spend that kind of money and knowing that it's going to fail in 3 years. Because that's normally what happens, is you have somebody come in and paint your house, and within 3 years you got chipping and peeling, and it's very common. But if you do the right steps at the right areas, like you prep everything like it needs to be prepped, because you got to handle windows different, you got to handle doors different, you got to handle walls different, and high traveled areas, low traveled areas, moisture areas with a lot of moisture. I mean, all that stuff takes effect in how your house settles and reacts to the weather. And if your paint job don't hold up to it, like this caulking, like just giving this caulking I use very often. Only time I ever use this is when we got a problem with it, like crown molding where it meets the ceiling, where it keeps cracking. We'll put this stuff in there and fix it. But this stuff is nice, like, but even though it's $10 a tube, it's still not expensive. But it's knowing that this product will hold up to where crown on your cabinets meet your ceiling. And anybody knows anything, I guarantee 90% of people that look at their cabinets right now, the, they either didn't caulk it or the crown that goes through the ceiling is cracked somewhere. And that's because the flexing of the house. And it's, like I said, just one of those common things, and it's so hard to fix unless you know what product to put in it. But like I said, that's not here or there. But the whole reason why I'm using this coffee right now is because it's all I got. I got some clear over there, but it's coming out funny. I think it got froze. Yeah, I think it got froze. I like using this 950 from Sherwin on backfilling. It's really good. It's a really good caulking for holding up on trim. Normally, if we put this in your trim, you can get 10 years out of it, and it's only $2 a tube. But there's other stuff that they got out there that's a little better high quality, and it doesn't hold up half as good as this stuff. Like, I've used all of it, and this clear is nowhere near this. Like, this stuff here, if you put a bead out there, you can stretch it. I think it's like every 3 inches of caulking, you can stretch 6 to 9 inches before it breaks. This stuff here, you can put a 3-inch bead down and stretch it like 5 inches before it breaks. It's pretty much half of it. And another thing, if you want to know how good caulking is, this right here tells you everything. If it says 55 years, it's pretty good caulking. How do we know this one has it on there? This is a Benjamin Moore product. This is a Sherwin product. Big difference. Huge difference. But Sherwin-Williams, they got really good caulking. I give them that. That's why I said, like, I don't hate on Sherwin-Williams. I'm not a fan of some of their paints because it don't cover itself. Like their primars or stuff like that. Like, I'm just not a fan of the paints. But everything else I use. I've been using pretty brushes since I started painting. But here lately I've been using Worcester. But this stuff here, Tower Tack, is from Benjamin Moore. And Benjamin Moore is like, it's more of a commercial grade stuff. And this is more of a home. Like, say if a homeowner goes to buy stuff, this is what you would buy. And if you were in a company, you would use this stuff. That's the only difference. And not to mention, this stuff lasts, I would almost bet this stuff's, I think it's 60 years. I think the lifetime on it 60 years. Like, this is, they put 55 years on there because it's supposed to be the lifetime. It doesn't, it's not happening. You're not getting 55 years out of it. I think 10 to 15, give or take, and that's in good conditions. Like, your house is on 70 all the time, and you know what I mean, like, and it's not holding moisture. Because if you got water in the baseboards, there's two things that will crack your caulking out. It get too old and it'll crack out because it gets hardened, it shrinks, and it'll split. Or water will lay on it and just like rot it away. Like, it'll literally rot away. But even though it says 55 years, it doesn't guarantee 55 years. But the reason why I'm saying about the 55 years is because if you look at some other caulking, some of it only says 20, some of it says 30. This right here says 55. And the weight that I use says 55. But it's, I like this stuff because, yeah, it's hard to clean off your fingers, but it's because there's more glue in it. And the more glue in it, the better the life. Just like the same scenario with your paint. The more glue you got in your paint, the better it holds on the walls and the better you scrub it. But I mean, you're talking about rabbit holes. I'm not trying to get on a bunch of rabbit holes, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 60-year. And another thing you got to watch out for, what I was trying to get to is when you use clear and you paint over top of clear, depending on how big of a gap you got, like between your trim and your wall, if you got a decent sized crack right there and you paint it, you'll notice it'll kind of wrinkle, and it looks funny. And sometimes it'll take 2 or 3 coats to get it covered up, but it'll wrinkle, and it's weird. It's almost like it doesn't want to stick to it. So that's why we say you shouldn't backfill with it. Not only does it not cut through when you pull the tape, it's hard to cut. It's hard for the tape to cut through it. But it looks like it doesn't. It looks like it cracks out when you try to paint on top of it. Like paint don't stick to it. But anyway, get that dude taped on. I gotta take these doors off so when I spray it, the overspray don't go through it. I think I'm just gonna run plastic. I'm gonna run tape up this way and put plastic on it just to seal it. That's what color it's going in. It's a sample. But like I said, hit that subscribe button. Always having fun over on the side. Not really, but I try to.